Alright, so if I start my server now, npm start, so it should throw some error. Yeah, so why this error is coming here? Since we are using roles repository, but we haven't registered role entity with type ORM. So I don't know if you have noticed, but in previous videos while creating user, I registered type ORM here. In the user module, I registered user entity with type ORM. Similarly, I'm going to do same thing here for the role as well. So let's add a import statement. So imports, we write it for all the module imports. So here what we are going to do, we are going to mention type ORM, and this will be for feature, and we need to put an array. We can pass multiple entity, so let's put role here, and now this error should not be here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open my Postman, and then I'll create one InstallPlan. I'll create one folder. It will be role, and in role I'm going to add one request. Let me close other tabs. Here let me rename it to get roles, and let me add one more. Create role. Okay, so in get role, the the URL we will use is this thing, v1/roles. Let me save it, and if I try to make a request, we should get an empty data. Means it probably would be working fine as expected, but we are not sure. Let's try to create one. So I'll copy this endpoint URL and I'll paste it here. Since we are trying to create, we'll be using post, and in body I'll be using raw.json, and I need to pass name. Let's create an admin role. Okay, I'll save the request so that I can use it later, and I will try to make a request. So as you see, we have got this data from response. Means the role admin is created. If I go back in database, let me check in database SQLite. If I refresh it, I have this role here, right? Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete this role, or let's do one thing. Yeah, let's delete this role first, and then we will update it. For delete, I'm going to use delete, and I'm going to use this endpoint in delete, but I'll have to pass some ID. So if you notice, in create role the ID was 2, so here I will have to pass 2, and then if I make a request, then it is saying role 2 is deleted successfully. Means it is working as expected. If I try to get all the roles, now it should be an empty data. So let's create one more role, this admin again, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one new request, update role, and this time I will try to update role instead of deleting it. So the URL will be similar, like let's say currently if I try to get all the roles, I have this ID3 with name admin. So let's try to update this admin with member role. So what I can do, I can just use patch request, and I will use raw JSON, and then I'll pass name as member, and then I will save it, and let's try to see if this gets updated. Okay, alright, so it looks like the data is updated, but to make sure whether it really got updated, let's fetch all the roles again. Okay, so the problem here is it created new role instead of updating it. So what we did, I mean we actually did one mistake while updating it. Let me fix it. So if I go back in users, we did similar functionality for update user. We used save here as well, right? So it worked. So how we can save, I mean the same entity in role? The problem I think we did is we directly passed the updated role here, which we should not have done. Instead, we should have first fetched the role, existing role, and we should have destructured the existing role. Let me just do it. And then we should have passed, we should have also destructured the updated role DTO. Now it will have the ID here. Okay, so it will try to save the same request, same role actually. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna test it again. This time if I go back in enum, open, so we have a client. Let's update admin to client this time. So my admin is role ID 3. If I try to update it to client, let's see if it gets updated or not. Okay, now if I try to fetch all roles again, you see admin is updated to client now.